Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hanging Out with Howie. And we have our illustrious cast with us again. And I will, before I introduce my panel here, like to give a shout out to a longtime sponsor, DJ Event Planner. That's www.djeventplanner.com. And the links to that and many of our other sponsors are down below the description when it gets published to YouTube, and you'll see them to be a blue hyperlink. We'd appreciate you, using those, and it helps to keep us on the air. So I didn't really have a topic, but Buddy, you have a good topic. You and John had been talking about. What do you got going on?
Well, it's happened to me multiple times. People reach out via your website or via whatever it is, and they basically ghost you. And you don't get feedback. Sometimes you find out later on down the road that they found in their DJ service, whatever the reason is. Fine, great. But it's the hard part to me is you contact someone again via whatever service or directly to, and you didn't even talk to the other person. If you want to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, then you should at least listen to them. Now, again, if someone's giving you a great deal, someone's giving you something, hey, no problem. That's great. But the thing is, at least give me a chance to, or give anybody a chance to talk to you about what is happening, what's transpiring, and see if you truly are apples to apples, or is this person giving you pie in the sky, going, hey, I'm going to give you this, this, and this, but in reality, not going to give you what you want. And are they going to be able to service them exactly the way the client needs to be serviced, as far as do they need multiple setups? Do they need have special stuff for a ceremony, or they want special entrance? Do they want something there that's not the normal, typical thing? Can you do it or can you not do it? So that's the other questions as well, is what can we do?
Can I try to paraphrase what you just said?
Yeah, please.
Because I'm listening.
Notes, yeah.
I'm listening and I'm thinking, okay, in school we used to do this thing called reducing fractions. We take this big number, make it a small number. So I'm going to try to take Buddy's thing and make it small. What Buddy's saying is if he's got a client that's shopping around, that's fine, because when they shop around, they get to see what everybody's services are offering. However, sometimes what ends up happening is the client lands on a service that does a hard sell and ends up booking the client before you're able to give a pitch. That's what Buddy's saying, and he's frustrated by this. And his frustration is valid as far as I'm concerned. I had the same problem when I was doing cars. I didn't want to hard sell anybody on a car, especially a new car. They're all the same. It's not like a used car. They're new cars. So I tried to give people room, and they go to another dealership and they would get the hard sales pitch and they'd buy from the other dealer. It's all in your style of sales. As far as I'm concerned, you're either a hard sell or you're a soft sell. I'm a soft sell. I don't want people to work with me unless they really want to work with me. That's me personally. And other people are hard sells. Everybody that comes to the door, it's a number, and you got to always be selling, ABS, always be selling.
And closing as well. It's closing.
Always be closing, yeah.
Always be closing.
ABC, always be closing, yeah.
And, Buddy, how long after they contacted you did you contact them?
Well, again, this is multiple times has happened. And usually
the most recent one, like how long between your contacting and you contacting them?
Within a few days, initially the first contact was within 1 hour. So our goal, as soon as we receive something via the knot, wedding wire, or whatever, is try to get that initial contact back to them within 1 hour.
But is that just an automatic? Right.
No.
Is that an automatic email?
No, that's us doing it manually, going in, saying hello,
personalized,
or whatever. We personally
didn't talk to them.
No, not in person. It wasn't.
I'm just saying the guy that booked them maybe he got the same email when you got it. Cause I know brides have told me, wow, thanks for getting back to me so quickly. We sent out like 7 emails. So, they're fishing with a wide net, but oftentimes I'll say, and I don't know what you say, and I don't want to split hairs on it. Hey, if you're available now, I'd be happy to give you a call. And that might be what the other DJ did, was he physically got him on the phone, gave them his pitch, showed them his value, and they were captivated enough to say, yeah, let's just go. I don't want to go through 20 of these meetings.
Yeah, let's just do this.
Yeah, let's just get it over with. I mean, they like you or they don't. Before COVID, when you could meet every client in person, it was a magic of they really got along with you. They saw what you had to say. They felt comfortable and they booked. But since COVID, so much of this is like, it's emails, which mean nothing. I get 1,000 emails a day that just barely go through them. And I think sometimes clients might be the same way. And we have to find a new approach. And I think we have to go back to grassroots, which is, hey, thanks for contacting me. I'm available right now for a phone call. If now's not a good time for you, when would you like to speak? I'm available up until 8:00 tonight, if that works for you. Now you're forcing them to either ignore you or answer you. And if they ignore you, well, maybe it's a client you don't want to work with.
Well, again, with what we do when we answer is we ask in an initial contact is saying, hey, we do have your date open. When can we set up a Zoom meeting? When can we talk to you? What is it, by phone, Zoom? We could talk to you, this afternoon. And I kind of give a time frame. Hey, I'm available this afternoon between like after 1:00 or this evening after 4:00, whatever it is. I try to give them a window and say, hey, we're available. If we're going out to a wedding and a knock comes in, hey, I'm available tomorrow afternoon, or I'm available Monday after 2:00 in the afternoon. I try to give them a window so that way they feel urgency, because I want a little bit of urgency, but also this way they know that this is a real person they're talking to. It is not an automated system that's generating this saying, hey, thanks for contacting us. Someone will be contacting you shortly. I'd never like to automated system. I like to manually see it. So when I get on my phone, either an email or anything, it's always, hey, you know what? I have a kind of a preset thing, but for what to say, but I'm always trying to, say, hey, let's meet as soon as possible.
Can I ask
make a suggestion real quick? Sorry, Brian, just real fast.
Go ahead, Jay.
Because I get it from my clients now, and I know it's true in my work life. You don't have another job, so you may not see this the way other people do. The last thing I want to do on a daily basis is a Zoom meeting. I probably go through 3 a day outside of the chat. So if a client, unless the client says Zoom, I've dropped Zoom off all my correspondence. It's, would you like to speak on the phone or meet in person? I don't say Zoom anymore. If they say, can we do a Zoom? That's fine. But the majority of people I know in an 8-hour day are sitting on the computer for 3 or 4 hours of Zoom meetings. They don't want to Zoom you. They'll talk to you on the drive home, but they're not Zooming you on the drive home. So you may want to switch it to, are you available for a call now or later today? I can also do a Zoom meeting if that's preferenced. Because, dude, I'm on Teams and Zoom meetings all the friggin' time, because now that's the only communication the corporate world seems to understand, and it's a joke. So just a bit of advice on that front.
Yeah. I want to jump in after Brian.
No, go ahead.
Oh, good. Now I have to remember what it was. Oh, yeah. And also this is, I'm 37, about to be 38. So, I'm not necessarily the youngest whippersnapper in the world, but, at the same time, I think a lot of my thought process of getting as much as I can handled electronically as far as details these days and typing it out, texting or messaging seems to be an approach that really works for me. So I try to get as much of that info in front of them as possible. And that's something too that I like to present as an option. It's like, do we want to go through everything just over Messenger? And I'm not saying that we'll never have a meeting to really get to know each other better, but really getting as much details hammered out in a way that if they want to multitask through their day and just have my information in front of them, because they're probably already frustrated that they couldn't just click on my profile, see my price, and they might see a ballpark price, but they just don't see my rate for their particular event. And then, so they're already a little frustrated. I feel that they have to message me and ask me about it. And then, so I just try my best to get as much of that in front of them as quickly as possible and as few questions and interactions as possible.
What's one of the things also, when I reach out to people, and I'm sure you guys do the same thing, texting is a huge thing. And our office number is a Google Voice number. So I get text messages. It goes right to my phone. It emails me. It messages me on any tablet or my main computer. So if I'm near anything that is digitally connected to Google, I can see that message, and I give people options. Hey, you want to talk? You want to text? You want, I try to give them some options for that, because communication is key, and have as many options for communication is there. So, here's our office number. You can text it, you can call it, you can email us, so it gives them multiple options to do. Or we can meet through, either Facebook or Instagram or whatever service they want, Zoom or whatever we want to go through. So I try to give multiple, ways of contact.
All right. So good. Or not. Okay, so I'll start.
Bill. I'm waiting. That's all right, Bill. I'll wait.
Some things that Matt said are things that you hear often when you're, maybe even in a seminar, but when you're hearing people talk about the trends of our clients of today, but I feel like that was more the trend of our clients of 5 years ago. And that COVID has in some ways changed that a little bit. Because at least from my own experience, kind of like Jay's saying, they are kind of enjoying interaction again in a, hey, how would you like to meet sort of way. I do still offer the option of a Zoom meeting instead of, a virtual meeting instead of in person, but I've always pushed for in-person meetings, because when I meet a potential client in person, I have an over 90% close rate. If I don't have the meeting following a phone call, it's a little bit lower. But if I'm able to first have a phone call and then have that in-person meeting, it's on the higher side of the 90%, actually. The other thing for me, in following a little tip that the great Alan Berg mentions every time he talks about emailing clients, always end your email with a question. That doesn't mean sign off with a question, but it does mean at the end of your last paragraph, there should be a question in there somewhere. And that question could be simply, when is a good time for me to call you? It could be that simple, but it could also be... Oh, go ahead, Howie.
Yeah, I was going to agree with you. I mean, I've heard all the sellers that that are teaching you how to sell always say, leave a call to action is the term. Call to action.
Sure, that'll tell you two things: whether they want to get back to you and if they even read it. Because if they know there's a hanging question. Oh, they read it too. Here comes the call. Here comes the text. Here comes the whatever. Yeah, this isn't an isolated situation. I just you never get this from a referral. Like if someone said, "Hey, you come highly recommended. We want to speak with you, work with you." That's pretty much the one deal. I think this is pretty much exclusively cold calls, and it's like we were always just say strike while the iron's hot, and when those leads come in, it's time sensitive. You got to get on them right away. I mean, our response time is as good as you can expect in the industry. But while they're getting in touch with you, they're also out shopping, and they just happen to find someone that was just a little more wordy and clever to, maybe offer a discount, take some money off. Well, you can have this price if you sign up now. And then they miss the chance of interviewing all these other people who could have been better for the event. To do something on such short notice without knowing the timeline, meeting, talking about the people, talking about the music. I mean, it could be partially the clients jumping the gun a little bit. If given, the opportunity where it's all laid out on the table and you were patient enough to see what everybody had to offer, you'd make the the decision for the DJ that fit the best, that fit the budget the best. Whereas it's not just someone stole it out from under you. You didn't even getting a chance to, be on the audition before, somebody else got the award. That's maddening, but it's, you just keep doing the right thing, and ask for the sale. Like, oh, if you want to lock up that date now, I can, take a retainer on it and say that date's yours, and we'll talk about it when you have time. It's just got to be a selling strategy that we just can't be laid back and lax like we were during COVID. Like, oh, we'll just wait for the Zoom meeting, and the world's moving at a quicker pace now. We're kind of back to where we were. So, you got to be the hunter with the spear in the river to get the fish. It's
the one thing, going back to what Bill was saying, in-person meetings, Tracy and I, because again, my wife works with me, we've actually been at, and we usually try to meet at a neutral location, Starbucks, Panera, something like that, something close to them, not far from them, because they're like, they're everywhere. And we've been ghosted at Starbucks and Panera before COVID. And it's like, we go there and, we have a 2:00 meeting, no one shows up. And it's like, sometimes it's not as convenient because Tracy still works a full-time job. We have the business to run, and taking those meetings and no one shows up. And it has happened. Not every time, but it has happened enough that it's kind of boring.
I do have questions, especially with that last one. Do you ever confirm meetings?
Yes.
Okay, so the way I always do this stuff is like, yeah, we'll meet Tuesday, but just do me a favor and give me a text to confirm, Tuesday morning that you'll be there. I do it day of, confirm.
Yeah, I'm with Brian. I've never had anyone ghost me on a meeting.
I've never had anybody ghost me in a meeting.
No,
but I've confirmed the meeting before.
Yeah, that day I'll shoot a text.
I'm on my way. Where are you?
2:00.
Yeah, we're texting back and forth. You can't just kind of like automate that crap and just say, oh, well, we agreed to meet Tuesday and you didn't come. But you're also laying a foundation, like Brian says, you're laying an actual foundation for how reliable you are, that you're willing to be on top of the details for a meeting that you haven't been hired for yet. And I've actually said in meetings when they go, yeah, this, I go, well, look at this experience. You guys emailed me. I emailed you right back. Yeah, you were the first response. We set up a meeting. I drove an hour and a half to get here. We've met for 2 hours, and I'm going to drive an hour and a half home. You may not even hire me, but this is what I do for people that are even prospective clients. I've given up 5 hours of my life because I believe in what I do and I take it that seriously. And it's not a hard push. It's more of the guy that's just going, I got 10 DJs and one of them will do a great job and we'll get you a guy 4 or 5 months out. Give us this money today and here's the discount. That's just a factory sell. You got to sell buddy.
Right.
And again, we don't have time on this session, but we don't know what your response was. Did you tell the price? Did you, is your response this long instead of this long? And did you say or do something in it that just didn't jive with that customer? No, they'll never know what the experience would have been like hiring you. But you know what? You can't do every wedding, nor should you. So this should tell you, guess what? Move on. This was not your client.
Well,
not everyone is.
The part two of that was kind of my first question that I had that I was going to ask. And that is your closing rate any different right now than it has been? Or is this just, hey, what do we do in this situation kind of question that you had, buddy?
This is more or less just, I would probably say just maybe I need to reevaluate, maybe need to do some things differently. Because again, we've been doing stuff for a long time. Business for 19 years. Yeah. And the closure rate's about the same, but it's
you're
like
still working as much as you normally work. I mean, you're still doing X amount of dates per year like you did last year. Like, really, it sounds like you're doing fine.
I wouldn't worry about it then,
buddy.
I'd blow it off.
I would too. The only thing that I would suggest is if you're getting ghosted at meetings,
that's different.
Confirm those meetings before you even leave the house.
Because they'll tell you they're going to ghost you. They'll feel bad. Quick thing, when I worked at Starbucks, they'd come through the door. I'd make eye contact, be like, hey, good morning. How's it going? And I found out very quickly, the people that responded to me never got out of line and left. The people that didn't respond to me were the ones that might stand in line for a minute and then turn around and walk out. But the other people felt a connection to me because they'd seen me look at them and communicate. So now them standing in line for 4 minutes didn't seem to really be an issue because I'd constantly in the line say, I'm getting these drinks out as fast as I can, guys. Just give me a second. Anyone just have regular coffee? I'll pour it right now. There was a sense of, oh, he's on my side. And I think Brian saying the day of, it's a convenient thing, like, because you're giving them want to make sure we're still good today for 2:00. Yep, no problem. My fiance is going to meet us there. Great. Can't wait to meet you guys. I'll be in all black, or I'll be the guy with the wife, or I'll be the guy with my laptop on the table, or whatever is a good sign so they can walk in and feel comfortable from the word go.
I'll literally say, hey, you know what? Life happens. So let's please confirm this before we do it. So why don't you give me a call, around noon?
Yeah.
So, and they understand life happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're blowing you off,
kid,
20 appointments.
Yeah.
It's like you said before we started recording, the soft sell. I can't do the hard sell. It's
not in my nature to do that anymore.
It's like, doing fine. I just can't do that.
Can I? Yes. Can I? Yes.
Give you a teddy bear.
I just don't want to strong arm anybody to do business with me.
You don't want to make them regret they hired you. Yeah.
I want to do business with people who want to do business with me, who genuinely want to do business with me.
They need to trust.
That's not always what you're going to get on a hard sell. So that's why I don't.
You're never going to get that on a hard sell. They regret hard sell. Nobody's ever been hard sold. I guarantee this. No one has ever been hard sold that didn't walk away from the experience feeling a little pushed. They have to. That's the nature of the beast. They had to. If you have to say to a client, you know what, if you want to book today and do cash, because I've had clients come to me and at the meeting be like, great, everything sounds good. What's your cash discount? I'm like, 0. I still have to report it, so I don't give a cash discount. Oh, well, do you give a discount? And you can tell they've met with other DJs who start with the hey, before you get up, I'm willing to give you 150 off today. And I've told people, if you met with a DJ who offered a cash discount before your ass left this seat, then he doesn't believe in his price. And he doesn't believe in his value, and you're nothing more than a number. I'm willing to commit the next 12 months to one day of the year. You get me 110% above everything and anything else, to the point where I won't go out in the morning. I won't jeopardize your day by jet skiing or playing softball. I'm not out the night before getting crazy. And if that's not a trust that you want in your DJ or your photographer or your videographer, then hire someone else. But if you don't trust me 100%, don't hire me.
Right.
And because then it's never going to be a regret. They're never going to regret hiring me because I pushed them into it.
I know how to hard sell. I mean,
I have 2 weddings coming up where I got pushed into it because I'm the DJ on the vendor sheet. And the owner said, this is the DJ we use. And the woman goes, well, you're a little more than we expected to pay, but they say you're very good. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, talk to the owner of the venue. I'm the only DJ she has. Well, we're thinking of looking around. I'm like, be my guest. You have a very popular wedding date. If you don't book me for that venue, I will book it somewhere else. I don't want you to feel forced into this because I'm the only DJ on the table. Get another DJ. Make sure they've got $1 million insurance. They've got this, and then sell it to the venue owner. And she got back to me. She goes, the venue owner said that we have to use you. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. Because now, and the venue owner,
he doesn't like hard sells.
No, the venue owner just said, I'd prefer not to bring anyone else in here. I can't guarantee they'll work out. We had one other event with another DJ. They were terrible. They were unprofessional, and it gave my venue a bad reputation off that one event. Yeah. So I'm afraid if my vendors, if the DJ doesn't work for you, then maybe I'm the wrong venue. And the woman was like, I couldn't believe she said that. I'm like, well, she wants a great wedding for your daughter, and that's what I'm going to deliver. Okay. And by the way, I've yet to speak to the daughter. The wedding's in 3 months. I've been on the books for over a year, and I've only dealt with the mother, who is flighty.
I got to say, that's borderline hard sell by the venue.
No, it 100% is. That's my fear. I almost don't want to. By the way, it's an outdoor wedding in December. Those of you that don't know the Temecula Valley very well, let me clue you in real quick. The best temperature I can hope for during the day in December will be in the 60s. At night, anywhere from low 40s to low 50s. And I don't know about you boys, as good as the circulation system is in my body, these things get cold and numb very quickly when I'm trying to touch a touchpad on a laptop. I hate outdoor weddings in November and December for that reason.
Yeah.
Right in Boston.
Seriously, your fingers go, and now the computer is an issue because you're like, God, why am I pushing the the trackpad wrong?
The numbness that won't go away.
Yeah, no, it's right in the tip. You're like, damn. Yeah, so, they weren't your client, buddy. You didn't lose anything. Now you have that date open for someone else to slide in.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with Brian. If you're getting ghosts, I've genuinely never had a client not show up at a meeting, nor have I ever missed a client meeting. And it's like, I think it's the communications. We know through email, and then I say, here's my number. Text me if anything comes up, and they'll give me their number. And then, like Brian says, the day of, because I've had to call clients, 11 a.m. meeting, 10:45. Hey guys, there was an accident. I'm about 20 minutes away, so I'm going to be 5 minutes late. Oh, no problem. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks so much for letting us know. Or they're late 5-10 minutes, and I text my clients, you're 5 minutes late to a meeting with me at Starbucks. You're getting a text. Hey guys, just want to verify everything's still on. I'm here now. Or no, the text is always, hey guys, I'm here. I'm sitting over in the corner. Oh, yeah, sorry. We're running like 15 minutes late. Okay, that could have been sent to me 15 minutes ago when you were only running 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But if you can make them feel bad because of it, you kind of should. I'm giving up my time just the same way you are, buddy. Yeah, they're giving up their time, but it's a two-way street. They're going to make money at their job next week. Are they going to have a great DJ next week? No. They're only getting married once. They're going to work every day. Don't think of this as an inconvenience to meet a great DJ to hire. Think of it as a great investment in what you're spending 30 or 40 grand on for the day. And when they see that in the meeting, they're like, oh shit, we shouldn't have been late. Sorry, my time's just as valuable as yours.
And, the texting back and forth with clients, we've done that plenty of times that, they do run late. It's like when we usually get there at, let's say, Starbucks or Panera, usually at least a half hour, if not longer, beforehand, because Paneras a lot of times are busy. Starbucks a lot of times are crazy busy. People are working on stuff. We want to get, a table, 4 chairs, or whatever it needs, get everything set up, ready to go before they get there. If we want to get our something to drink for ourselves, water, whatever, we're there, we're ready to go before they even show up. So we're usually there about half hour prior to the meantime. 2:00, we're there about 1:30, because I've run into in the past, get to a Starbucks and they're crazy busy. Yesterday we were at a Panera for client meeting. This is a walkthrough meeting for their wedding in September. And they had some girls soccer team in there. Yeah.
I don't mean or Saturday.
They had a girls soccer team in there. Basically, they had almost all the tables except for one. When I walked in there, the line was up to the door, to the counter. So I just went and looked for a table real quick, grabbed a table. I grabbed one of the last tables because the rest of the tables were used. So I'm like, okay, we're there a half hour prior to. When the clients got there to talk to us, the soccer team was still there. They're eating their sandwiches and, with their parents and stuff. And people were taking their stuff, either trying to eat outside, it's kind of warm outside, or they're taking it and they're leaving. They're not even staying there because there wasn't enough room in the Panera. So that's the thing is I've run into that in the past. So we always, say, hey, let's be there early. But we always text people, say, hey, we're here, we're at this table. So they kind of get ideas. And that's the importance of communication.
Yeah. You don't text them half an hour before the meeting though, right?
No, we just tell them where we're at, so we know. They know, hey, we're here about 10 minutes prior to the meeting. We're here.
I was going to say, if I got a text from a vendor 30 minutes early, I'd be nervous. Like, oh, damn, am I running late?
No, usually 10 minutes prior to. Hey, we've been there for a while. We would say, hey, we just got here. It's a little crowded, so to let you know, parking's a bear. So it gives them, heads up. So it's kind of like, oh, hey, they're there, they're prepared. Again, going back to showing that you are professional and you're there early. You're not there as last minute. Hey, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm 5 minutes late. And this way you also foresee any problems and you're, making sure you communicate those problems so the customers are aware and they're like, they walk and have nothing to worry about.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to add before we put a fork in this?
Y'all need to learn to reduce your fractions. It's going to serve you well in your sales too.
Good idea. When you brought that up, I was like, I remember that class.
Yeah.
I do. Alrighty.
It's just helpful when you're selling. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you guys. And thank you all for viewing. And we will see you back here next week. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the music show with Brian and Jay. So good night.